Okay, hello. Uh, Usual 10 seconds buffer just to make sure my sound is working. You know the drill. This week we are watching me read, as is usually the case. It says live. Well, I'll just have to hope there's sound. As is usually the case. Alright, I have sound. Live. Okay. I'm reading, as you are all aware, Friendship is Prime. That apparently I haven't loaded the page yet. I thought I had. Waiting for the page to... Okay, the page is here. Looks like a good story. Sad comedy crossover adventure. Oh my goodness, this is a train wreck. And 43,000 total words. I'll just read what I can in an hour, so when 9:03, because I have 8:03 at the moment here, when 9:03 comes around, I'm going to stop reading, or finish out the chapter, or whatever. Or, well, actually, I'll just, bring it as close to 9 o'clock as I can. It's 8 o'clock my time, whatever time it is. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good day. It is a good day to be good on. So, I have not picked out a foreign accent for this week. Oh, bother. Oh, I could just do the usual British. It's been a while. Right, let's go. It was a bright sunny day in Equestria. The Canterlot Garden was filled with beautiful greenery, and all different kinds of statues made by hard-working artists lined the garden's outer edge. However, one special statue was placed in the center of this lush garden. It is a statue of a Draconicus. I don't blame you for spelling Draconicus wrong, because there's really no hard spelling of it, so it's not technically wrong, but I do believe that that should be a past tense sentence. It was, or perhaps it's a stylistic choice. I'll read on and see what it is. It is a statue of a Draconicus, a rare mythical creature whose body parts consist of those belonging to a spectrum of other animals. From a I believe you mean plethora, or myriad, or spectrum isn't the word I would choose. From a lion's paw to an eagle's claw, to a snake's tail, to a bat's wing, to a dragon's head, to even a dragon's leg, to even a pony's head. The peculiar thing about this statue is the position the creature is in. I didn't even mention this. Sunny day in Equestria. Terrible way to start a story. I don't care who you are, unless it actually has something to do with your story. For example, it was a bright, sunny day because Rainbow Dash had just cleared the clouds. She was on her way to whatever. The story is about Rainbow Dash. It sets the story because it has to do with Rainbow Dash. We already have comments. Fans. What is it? Hold on one moment, please. I am terribly sorry I forgot to do that. Terribly sorry about that. My brother is doing a movie night tonight, and I didn't realize he scheduled it at the same time I wanted to do this streaming, so family matters. Anyway, let's scroll down and see what sort of comments. Going to watch this too. Sorry, Positively Pinky, I know you love to watch these and comment on them. I understand you said you won't be able to watch tonight. Sorry about that. I had things to do today, so I couldn't do it earlier today. Okay. Bright sunny day in Equestria. You really don't want to start a story like this because it's a really cheap, lazy way to start a story. What am I getting at? I learned this from Fick. I should understand this. The reason being, I've explained it to you, it should have something to do with the story. It's a really cheap way to start the story. It's overdone. It's boring. There should be a much better way for you to start your story. And in fact, as a quote I love to say, the lack of limitation is the enemy of creativity. If you just have this, just waiting to be used, you've already shot yourself in the foot. I mean, you're not being creative. It's not creative. Writing is a creative work of art. And you are not being creative by using the same line that every other fanfiction writer out there uses on their first fanfiction. Can't do it. Erase, get rid of it, don't do it. You got to set yourself apart. Start where the action is. Place a mystery, place a question in the reader's mind as soon as you can. What is the next thing that's going to happen? You want them to read. You want them to be interested in your story. It's a bright, sunny day in Equestria. Okay, everything's fine? Great. No problem here. I'm just going to move on to the next. I'm going to go see why in the world that dragon's head is chopped off. Okay, so back to the story. Sorry for interrupting it, and sorry for things. Statue of Draconequus, rare mythical creature. We all know this is Discord. Get on with this stupid info dump. I mean, it's a boring paragraph about. I mean, the peculiar thing about the statue, the position the creature is in, arms outstretched, not to embrace, facial expression, absolute terror, lies a dark secret. Yes, we know, we've heard all this. It's Discord. He's been petrified. He's in this funny, kooky position. Get on with the story. Oh, geez, I'm late. May as well. Yes, yes. You're not late, Anon. Yes. Anyways. Ba-bum. At this time, if some pony was to observe the statue... Oh, what? No, you can let yourself in, alright? Everyone say hello to my cat. He doesn't like being on camera. He's very camera shy, for some reason. He's got a cat flap, though, that he doesn't like to use, so... At this time, if some pony was to observe the statue, at first glance nothing would seem out of the ordinary. However, upon closer inspection, one could hear what appears to be a faint heartbeat, slowly pulsing from where some pony would assume a Draconequus' heart is located. Boom, boom. This statue, however unusual it may seem, was not made by any pony at all. It is actually a real Draconequus that was turned into stone. Unless you haven't seen the beginning of unless all you've seen is season 1, we already know this. Get on with the story. Where am I? The statue itself did not move, nor did it make a sound. Inside the statue, however, this is where you should start your story. Actually, this right here is a very good line. Where am I? This immediately begs the question from the reader, who is talking? Then, the statue itself did not move, nor did it make a sound. You can... Alright, what is this statue? Inside whatever... Discord, and then you introduce the character and we're like, oh, okay, this is Discord. The rest of this up here, this can all be erased. Get rid of all of that, and this is a very nice intro. At least in my opinion. You know, don't take my word for it. Right. The consciousness known only as Discord had awakened from what should have been an eternal slumber. Yeah, watching the episodes on live stream. I remember that in college when I didn't have cable. Now that I'm home, I have cable and I can just watch it live. I remember the live... I cannot remember which live stream I used to go to, but I would usually I would check the Bronies Facebook page before they forced everything to get timeline, and they would always have links to live streams or whatever. I never used Equestria Daily for some reason. Anyways, that's right, I remember now. Discord recalled how he ended up in this miserable state in the first place. He had all of Ponyville in his grasp. Yeah. Actually, this is past tense. This should be past perfect, I believe is the term. Don't remember. It should be he had all of Ponyville in his grasp. He'd had whatever. The town that would be known as the chaos capital of the world. This period, believe it or not, should actually be outside the quotation mark. I know your English teachers pounded it into you. Punctuation goes inside the quotations, but actually, this quotation is within this sentence, which is a narrative sentence, and you're using the quotes, the chaos capital of the world. That is a title which by itself should just have quotes around it, and then the period marks the end of the sentence. So it should actually go after the quotes in this particular case. Over here, it goes inside the quotes because it's a sentence that is said by Discord, and it's the end of the sentence, and the quotes tell you that the sentence is spoken out loud. Here, the quotes are indicating what Discord had called it, but it's within another sentence. So the period actually goes outside the quotation marks. Interesting and little piece. Anyone who's got a PhD or whatever in this, or a college degree, feel free to correct me. He was going to have some fun in Equestria and unleash every ounce of glorious chaos he had stored up over the years. Now there's a bland sentence. Let's just tell them exactly what... Oh, wait, my mistake. See, I thought for a moment that the author was about to tell us exactly what was going to happen. No, this was Discord's intentions of what he had been doing. He was going to have some fun in Equestria and unleash every ounce of glorious chaos he had stored up over the years, but then he was beaten. And this is actually done properly, I'm impressed. And his kingdom of chaos had washed away before it could even be built. All because of 6 young ponies. Are we still in the info dump? I mean, I understand some books, like the ones I'm currently reading, like to do this for continuity. But, really, we know all this. My goodness. They were mere infants compared to his millennia of lifetime, and yet with 6 lousy pieces of jewelry, better known as the elements of harmony. Now this is interesting. Why single quotes here and double quotes here? That's what I'd like to know. Did the author just not pay attention or whatever? I'm not sure. And this is done correctly. Very nice. They were able to harness a magic more powerful than even his own and revert all of the changes he had made. This will not stand. I need to get out of here. I need more chaos. As the spirit of evil and disharmony, Discord, was able to feed... Oh. My mistake. As the spirit of evil and disharmony, Discord was able to feed off of all things chaotic. In fact, it was just a simple tussle between friends that gave him that last ounce of energy needed to break free from his previous imprisonment. Okay, so that tells us exactly when this happens. Wait, no. Because... Alright, whatever. This probably predates the Season 3 episode, which would totally make sense. Which had already been weakened over time before he was sealed up once more. Boom, 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 boom. I need more. Discord unleashed an invisible presence. This presence radiated in all directions from his location, like a giant tidal wave. It spanned out further and further, looking for any sort of chaos that would give him the strength to escape. Boom, 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 boom. More. However, this time the ones who imprisoned him had used a stronger spell to lock him away, and it had been only recently, so it did not weaken over time. He would need nothing short of total warfare to free him once again. Boom, 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 boom. More! The wave just kept spanning out, beyond Canterlot, beyond Ponyville, beyond Equestria, beyond the planet itself, perhaps even beyond time and space. It kept going out further and further until it finally sensed something. Boom, 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 boom. Yes, there. In some distant realm, he could at long last sense what he needed. gunfire, explosions, conflict. All of it was just absolute chaos. Perfect. Boom, 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 boom. Take me there. Discord would have to use every... Now, I can already tell he's going to Earth. It's kind of obvious. Discord would have to use every last drop of what little power he had left. Even the bit of power that was keeping him conscious. But surely he would make it there, to the war zone. It would be enough to revive him. Then he could have even more fun. This time with an unsuspecting populace. Boom, 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 boom. Take me there! A bright white aura surrounded the statue. This tiny little tidbit, there should be a comma when you're stacking descriptors like that. Surrounded the statue. Shortly afterwards, the statue was enveloped in a white light, and then it was gone. A secret base somewhere in a desert in Jasper, Nevada. A giant mechanical being, garnered in a red and white pattern, known as an Autobot. Now I understand the title. Friendship is Prime. Optimus Prime had noticed a giant mechanical being garnered in a red and white pattern known as an Autobot had noticed something strange on one of the many monitors around him. Something wrong, Ratchet? A red and blue Autobot who goes by the name Optimus Prime asked in concern. No, Optimus, Ratchet replied. It's just that the sensors briefly detected... Now, I actually don't know what these... I'm terribly sorry to say this. I was not a viewer of Transformers back in the day. I was a fan. I liked what I saw in the commercials, but I was a sheltered child and not able to watch it. Yes, I know, it's terribly unfair. But anyways, I don't know what their voices are supposed to actually sound like, so I'm just going to input my own. No, Optimus, Ratchet replied. It's just that the sensors briefly detected some kind of anomaly. Everything appears to be fine now. Do you think it could be Decepticon activity? Optimus asked with curiosity on the matter. I'm not picking up any other signals, Ratchet answered. Whatever it was, it seems to have passed. Boom, 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 boom. Discord had arrived in this new world in the dead of night. No one was around in this mountainous region to notice a statue suddenly appear in a blinding flash and sonic boom. Oh, no one was around, I'm sorry. I thought you said no one was awake. I must be tired. No one would notice that it was the cause of a small avalanche nearby, and no one would note a small avalanche for a sonic boom? I suppose. I don't really know how avalanches work, and I suppose it would depend on whether or not it was ready to go, or whether it was held securely. Anyways, no one would notice that it was the cause of a small avalanche. No one would notice the statue ended up buried beneath a pile of rubble. Boom, boom. Discord knew he would have to go back to sleep now, but he also knew that the next time he woke up, he would be free to do as he pleased. Boom. And then for Discord, everything went black once more. Wait, what? You're saying he could see what he was doing? I mean, you're frozen in stone. It's not exactly like your brain is receiving much data. Although, in canon, he was able to hear everything Celestia was saying. So it's possible that he could see. It just... no, Stone can probably see. I mean, there was the Weeping Angels from Doctor Who, which are creepy, by the way, especially when your friend sets up multiple pictures of them slowly moving forwards, and then they set your background to change every 5 minutes, so you blink, and then suddenly the picture is closer. It's the creepiest thing in the world, let me tell you. It's scary when suddenly the picture is all of a sudden closer, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, that thing's not real, is it? It's just... I mean, it took me a minute to figure it out, but the first time, it's bloody... Yeah, The kingdom of Equestria is ruled by two special ponies. They are neither unicorns nor Pegasi nor earth ponies. There are actually a fourth race known as alicorns. Alicorns have both the horn of a unicorn and the wings of a Pegasus. Once again, why are you telling us this? Did you know that grass is green? Did you know the sky is blue? Now, humans have been around for a while. We evolved from monkeys, so they say in class. I mean, people have different theories about this. But the point is that we've been around for a while. And I am terrible at telling the history of humans, but I'm trying to make a point here. That we didn't used to have all these computers or whatever. We used to have stone tools that we would build houses with. And we made great houses back then. We built so many things by hand because we were limited, and it was just great because it caused you to have to think, and you would think about the way something was built, and you built it strong. And eventually people developed better tools, and they built better homes, and eventually people developed a system of trading, you know, and eventually we got money, and then we learned how to make little gadgets and whatever. And when electricity was discovered, then everything just went bonkers because we got electric lights, we got electric motors, we discovered electromagnetism, we got all these sorts of things. And then eventually 100 or so 200 years later, we developed these computer thingies, and that's why we have them now. Do you see how boring that is? You already know the information. I don't need to hear this. I know what an Alicorn is. I really think there's a lot of people out there with an Alicorn OC that really shouldn't have one. I have an opinion about them. I know what they are. They're great flyers and even greater wielders of magic. You don't say. Not only are both of these Alicorns the Princesses of Equestria, but they are also sisters. I had no idea. Thank you for telling me that, author. The younger sibling is Luna. Really? I didn't know that either. The one who raises and lowers the moon. So, you're saying that the one named Luna, the Latin word for the moon, is the one who raises the moon? Really? She has a dark blue coat and a mane that literally flows like the night sky. So now you're just assuming that I've never seen the show at all, and I have no clue what Luna looks like. The oldest sister is Celestia, controller of the sun. Again, you're assuming that I haven't seen the show and wouldn't be reading this fanfiction in the first place because I have no idea what Celestia looks like. She's a white alicorn with a mane that resembles an aura pattern. You don't say. I had no idea because I've never seen the show. Sister, Luna inquired, did you hear that noise just now? It sounded like it came from the royal garden. Celestia, who normally wears a calm demeanor, that's an odd bit of metaphor, whatever the term is for that, I can't think right now, had a face filled with terror as her suspicions began to rise. And noise come, well, yeah, I suppose she's got cause for that. It couldn't be, she muttered to herself. The two raced to the garden as fast as they could, and when they reached the center, they realized their suspicions were true. The spot where Discord's statue should have been was completely empty. This story is so predictable. No, that's impossible, Celestia declared with worry. The elements of harmony. I would have used disbelief, personally. Oh, that's just me. Oh, cute little girl. The elements of harmony should have sealed him away permanently. Something seems strange about this, sister, Luna rebutted. If Discord is free, why has nothing happened yet? At this realization, Celestia and Luna looked for any sign of Discord's presence. Aside from the missing statue, there was not the slightest sign of disharmony anywhere. All is good. He could just be waiting to pull something, Celestia said sternly. He could just be waiting to pull something, Celestia said sternly. We need to keep an eye out for him, and we need to be on the alert for any news of chaos in the kingdom. Who knows what he might be up to? That's actually a question. I know it's usually said as a statement, but grammatically and for punctuation purposes, it's a question, and it should have a question mark at the end of it. 1 week had passed since the Ratchet detected the anomaly. Heads up, everyone. Ratchet gave the red alert to his teammates. We have some Decepticon activity on radar. It appears they're trying to access an energon mine in a nearby mountain range. Don't the cons know better than to go messing around in our turf? Sneered Bulkhead, the largest man. Oh, he's a large man. Oh, he's a big guy. Bulkhead, that sounds like a giant. Don't the cons know better than to go messing around in our turf? Sneered Bulkhead, the largest member of the team, who was covered head to toe in green. Oh, there's too many names. I can't make voices for all of these. I guess it means we'll just have to teach him the hard way, cracked Arcee, the slender... She's female? I guess that means we'll just have to teach him the hard way, cracked Arcee, the slender female member of the group, who dons blue as her primary color. You see, you're going back and forth between tenses again here. I mean, you got past tense and present tense, and it's just bothering me. And you don't even use past perfect. Bumblebee, the youngest member of the group, who bears a color scheme identical to his namesake, chimed in with his own unique language that could be easily understood by his comrades. Now, I can understand you describing them here, because, granted, we're on a My Little Pony website and reading a story about My Little Pony. The Autobots, and I guess the Decepticons, the Transformers or whatever, are something that I'm not entirely familiar with, and there might be others who aren't entirely familiar with, who might pick up this story and might want to know a bit about these characters. But please do not waste my time as the reader telling me stuff that I already know. If I've seen anything of My Little Pony, I have friends who don't watch My Little Pony, and they know who Celestia is. She's a white Alicon with an ever-flowing mane that bothers the crap out of them. We all know who she is. Please do not waste our time with pointless details. It's boring. I mean, I'm already upset with the story, and I'm halfway through the hour I've given myself. Agreed, Bumblebee. The leader, Optimus Prime, responded with his iconic booming voice. Nevertheless, we must keep our guard up. There's no telling what the Decepticons may have in store for us. I'll send you guys through with the ground bridge, Ratchet responded. He was currently in front of a computer system that controlled the Autobots' main method of transportation around the globe. The ground bridge is a powerful... There you go with the present tense. It bothers me. Is a powerful teleportation device that can take them anywhere that they have the coordinates to. At this moment, he began the activation sequence for the ground. Now, you see, this is what I'm wondering. I saw the movie Transformers, with Shia LaBeouf and that girl, Megan Fox, whose name usually escapes me. I saw the movie, and what was his old guy? Jetfire or something. Jetfire. The black guy who used to be a Decepticon, he teleported them no problem. I mean, what did he use? I'm curious about that. The movie never explained it. He just teleported. It was like, oh, all Autobots can teleport? That's weird. Why do they travel everywhere? So I'm curious how he did that. But anyways, I'm going to keep reading. The ground bridge is a powerful teleportation device. At this moment, he began the activation sequence for the ground bridge. Soon, the base glowed in a green light as the portal opened up. Even though these are the only members of the team, they always have some company. In fact, the team is now getting their typical round of support from their friends, and this story is irritating the daylights out of me with how it switches back and forth between past and present tense. No, not another one. Young teenage Asian girl. I could be really mean to her. Knock some hairs, Bulk! Cheered Miko, a young teenage Asian girl with a pink highlight streak in her hair. Always do, Bulk responded in kind. Raphael, there's too many names, I can't even latch onto these, I don't know who they are, they're just names. What color is Ratchet again? Now, you see, here's the thing. I imagine him black, and I imagine him to be... I'm not going to look it up right now because it would take too long, but I don't remember the actor's name. But he does Cyborg from the Cartoon Network version of Teen Titans. That's who I'm imagining for some reason. Not sure why. But anyways, story's not enjoyable. I can't. Good luck, B. Raphael or Raph for short, small kid with brown hair and glasses. Good luck, B. Good luck, B. Raphael or Raph for short, a small kid with brown hair and glasses, gave some words of encouragement to his closest friend, to which B, I'm assuming is Bulkhead, I guess. No, to which Bumblebee responded, Boopzits. So, Bumblebee, Raphael, this is Bumblebee. Okay. Who's Jack? Why do you have so many? You cannot introduce characters this fast. I can't keep track of all of them. No. Hey, Arcee, be back in a half hour, okay? Rang Jack, the eldest of the group with his classic grey shirt and black hair. I promised Sierra I'd take her for a motorcycle ride later. Thanks for the concern, Arcee replied in a sweet, sarcastic tone. Don't worry, though, this won't even take 10 minutes. After that exchange of pleasantry, Optimus gave the team the classic command, Autobots, roll out. And with that, the team made their way through the portal. The Decepticons were using large vehicles with drills at the end, determined to break through the mountain wall in hopes of... Is this even pointed at me? Sorry about that. Increasing their energon supply. The operations were being overseen I think you mean they were being overseen by a particular duo of Decepticons. Knockout, the smaller of the two, and coated in red hot rod design, and Breakdown, the larger one, who has a blue body and orange face. Oh, hello, Detective Twilight. You've missed half of it. Is there any comments over here? Nope, no one's chatting. That's okay. Because I have no indicator like I do with Pony-chan. I don't have an indicator that just tells me from the other tab. Anyways. Oh, this is taking too long, moaned Knockout. I'd rather just go and have some fun on the road and race some cars. You mean crush some cars? Breakdown retorted. The two shared a small chuckle at their vindictive brand of humor. Deploying charges. One of the Vehicons? Vehicons declared. The Vehicons are the standard grunts of the army, and are all identical from their mainly purple color scheme to their red visors, where their THEIR, what should be, their eyes should be on, see, this one, their otherwise featureless faces. Did you proofread this? This author has very little knowledge of English, or did not proofread this properly. As the vehicle placed the explosives, the others saw their cue to back away. After the area was cleared, the charges were detonated. It was a huge explosion that finally broke through the weakened wall, and at long last revealed the energon crystals, gemstones that glowed with a glorious baby blue hue. The explosion, however, rustled a nearby rock pile. The stones were riffled enough to come loose, and the rubble collapse managed to reveal... It almost sounds sentient, like it was trying to do it. The rubble collapse did reveal... It revealed... Not managed to reveal. It revealed it. A small white horn protruding out of the rock heap. I don't remember. Jackpot! Just then, a green portal opened up, about 10 feet behind them, and the Autobots ran out, blasters already armed. Well, 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 look what the cat dragged in, Knockout hissed smugly. Looks to me like we got ourselves a few rats, Breakdown replied, following up on his partner's quip. Tell me about it. Just in time for a shout-out, Missed half. Oh, Minecraft. I should play Minecraft, actually. Like, yes. Oh, my goodness. So much of a mess. I mean, crossover fix always go badly. I mean, well, not always, but they're very hard to do properly. There are very few writers in this fandom that can actually properly pull off a crossover, and I'm attempting one. So, call me crazy. But anyways, let's get on with this train wreck. Or car wreck. Let's see. Tell me about it. Arcee was the first to respond. I see a whole bunch of con vermin all over the place. Clever girl. Knockout was quick to retort. But I'm afraid we'd be the ones to help ourselves to all of this energon. So I suggest you crawl back into your little den like good bots, huh? Over my dead chassis, Bulkhead responded. I believe that's where I come in, Breakdown responded in kind. As his hand transformed into a giant hammerhead, he charged forward, and soon enough the Vehicons were close behind their blasters, armed and shooting at the Autobots. Close behind their blasters, comma, armed and shooting at the Autobots. And you might even want a comma after this one as well. It's a list of things that are happening. You've got to do that. The team immediately took cover and returned fire. Which team? I'm assuming the Autobots, I suppose, because they were the last ones indicated, but it would be nice to specify. Just a courtesy to your reader, you know, because they're taking the time to read your story, and you've already run them through a bunch of rubbish that you don't even need. Several shots were exchanged back and forth, and while the Autobots remained unscratched, a few Vehicons were hit hard and unable to keep fighting. Over this battlefield, dark clouds were beginning to gather and started to swirl around the mountain peak. That's odd, Ratchet observed back at the base. I don't... What's odd? Raph followed up on the Autobot's audible pondering. I'm getting a small patch of interference from something, but I don't know what, Ratchet pondered. Maybe the Energon's acting up? Jock guessed. Maybe, but I have a bad feeling about this, Ratchet spoke ominously. The fight raged on, and while several more Vehicons had been injured, Team Prime was still on top form. Optimus and Bumblebee were taking on what was left, you lousy author, of the Vehicons. Bulkhead once again engaged in his ongoing Shut up, BitTorrent, I don't care about you. Bulkhead once again engaged in his ongoing rivalry with Breakdown as they smacked their melee weapons together. Didn't know they were rivals, but interesting tidbit of information. And Arcee had Knockout. You're supposed to proofread these things that you shouldn't be there. Arcee had Knockout in her sights. I think they've all got each other in their sights. Aren't you gonna fight? She asked the strangely calm and unmoving Decepticon. And risk ruining this paint job? Are you kidding me? Knockout uttered smoothly. Thanks, sister. There should be a comma there because he's addressing her. Granted, she's not actually his sister. When you're addressing someone in dialogue, whatever title you use to name them, whatever you call them, should be preceded by a comma. Thanks, sister. But no thanks. Unbeknownst to her, however, a Vehicon had managed to get into the cockpit of one of the drilling vehicles. He had turned the vehicle to Optimus, ready to make the charge. However, he had turned it toward Optimus. ready to make the charge. However, this caught Arcee's attention. "Oh no, you don't!" she exclaimed, turning her arm blasters on the nearby vehicle. She shot and hit the driver, but at the same time she was also too close to the vehicle when she accidentally hit the fuel tank. It was a small explosion, but a powerful one, and it sent her flying to a nearby cliff into a nearby cliff face. Lost. It was the same cliff face that had the rock pile with the protruding horn. Except when Arcee landed up there, more of the rubble was dislodged, enough to reveal a strange animal head. When Arcee regained her senses soon after, she let out a small surprised gasp at the first sight she saw. Now you see, this one, granted, I really hate the editing job the author did. It wasn't done poorly, because we know this is Discord, but the Autobots don't yet. The Transformers don't. And so we're describing what they would see, and the reader can infer what's going on. And this is a good example of showing and not telling. Because the author could tell us that it's Discord, but they've shown us that it's Discord through what the Autobots are observing. So that's done quite well. I can give you good marks for that. But the rest of this bloody heap is terrible. I can't even, come up with what I'm trying to say because I'm so irritated. Once again, the weather overhead was worsening. The clouds were turning darker, and the bellows of thunder could be heard crashing loudly. Ratchet, come in. Can you hear me? Arcee, what's wrong? You hurt? Ratchet responded professionally to the call. I'm fine, but I found something strange, she responded. Define strange, Ratchet replied. This should be a comma. You've been doing good with these. Well, actually not. See, a period ends the sentence. And that would make this its own sentence, she responded. Which doesn't really say anything at all. It's not a sentence, it's a sentence fragment. This is actually a part of this sentence. This... Highlight, damn you. This is one sentence. So this is not ending the sentence, it's breaking off the dialogue. So it has to be a comma. If... let's see. Like, for example, whatever the person said, they laughed. If you use a comma, it's the same sentence. It means they laughed this as they said it. But if you use a period, it means they said it and then laughed. It's two separate sentences. Now, strange isn't so strange I can barely define it, she retorted. Another bad comment. It's some kind of statue, but I have no idea what it's supposed to be. A statue? Ratchet inquired. What would a statue be doing in the middle of nowhere? I don't know, but it's definitely an unusual one. It's some sort of animal, but it's made of body parts from a bunch of other animals. Maybe some crazy artist wanted to dump a failed project somewhere secret? Oh. Maybe some crazy artist wanted to dump a failed project somewhere secret? Miko was the first to come up with a hypothesis. No, it doesn't seem that way. It just feels weird. Almost like it's alive or something. At that moment, unseen by Arcee, the statue emitted a small, black pulsation. Back at the battle, Optimus and Bumblebee had nearly finished up their fight with the foot soldiers, when suddenly they were under fire by blasts from the sky. Optimus looked up and was not happy about what he saw. Megatron, he uttered. The blast of fire came from a strange grey and purple vessel, which quickly transformed into a massive robot, one that even towered over Optimus Prime. That's a large oath. I did not expect to see the Decepticon leader on the front lines for a battle like this, Optimus bellowed toward his nemesis. Ordinarily, yes, Megatron responded. But I decided that this would be one of the best opportunities I've ever had to personally extinguish the spark of my lifelong enemy. As Optimus and Megatron began to clash and exchange blows, why do you have a scene break there? I mean, yeah, changing perspectives, I suppose, but that doesn't seem necessary to me. As Optimus and Megatron began to clash and exchange blow for blow, the statue reacted once more. This time, however, it started to slowly crack more and more with each black pulsation. Okay, now something really strange is happening, Arcee replied to the base. Ah, very good with that comma. The statue is cracking up, and I think it's cracking up. Ha 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 ha! You crack me up. And I think it's faint, but I'm thinking I'm starting to hear a heartbeat. That's crazy, Arcee. Jack couldn't help but respond after hearing something so ridiculous. Your servos are probably just malfunctioning. No, Jack, I don't think... Before Arcee could continue, she was interrupted by a massive bolt of lightning and an eruption of thunder. The battle below was only getting more and more intense. As Megatron and Optimus continued to hold their ground, they delivered punch after punch, both sides either dodging with grace or blocking with brute strength. We have ourselves a robot boxing match. Hugh Jackman from Real Steel would be proud. Eventually, they both drew their arm blades and began to take turns slashing at each other. Even then, they were still even, their blades locked together in a stem. Now, you see, this has always interested me, because if you're made of metal, you're a giant metal robot, and you're fighting with blades, what are you expecting to do to each other? Slice each other up? Have you ever swung a sword at a piece of metal, or a knife, or whatever? It doesn't cut through it. It's metal. If anything, it damages the blade. It might scratch the metal, but it doesn't really do anything. With humans, when you run a blade across your flesh, it slices it up, yeah. But what sort of blade are you using that you didn't choose to use for your body armor that's going to cut through it? I mean, really, what have we got here? This stream cracks me up. Steal my puns. Whole wheat. Whole wheat is not the same as whole grain, Billy. Do not come at me with whole grain. Or rather, it was the other way around. Whole grain is not the same as whole wheat, but whatever. A little bolt reference there. Not bad, Optimus. Megatron taunted his opponent. Still as fierce the fighter as you ever were, I see. I still have to remain sharp to be able to keep this planet from the likes of you, Megatron. Optimus retorted to his adversary. Advisory. Oh, hello. Save you for later. Perhaps, but even the sharpest knife will break after it gets too old. Or if you smash it at a giant metal robot. Megatron gloated as he kicked Optimus in the gut and sent him flying. And of course, you know, they have nerve endings for some reason. They grunt and they can feel all these punches and kicks. I mean, wouldn't it be more for the purpose of damaging your opponent, you know? I mean, blunt force. Anyways. Optimus was too stunned from the hit to be able to move. I mean, I suppose it could have fried his memory circuits or his circuits or something. As Megatron stood on top of him, ready to deliver the final blow, he was knocked off balance by a large earthquake. Back at the top of the cliff face, Arcee was trying to hold her ground. Against what? The statue had cracked completely down the middle, and Arcee was confident she heard the statue make a laughing noise. Ratchet? Arcee said sternly through the comlink. Forget about explanations, Ratchet said as he felt the quake hit the base. Let's just get out of here. Just get out of there. Arcee then proceeded to jump off the cliff, transform mid-air into a small blue motorcycle, and ride down the cliff face at a near 180-degree angle. This is what TV shows and cartoons do, because it's awesome. Near the bottom, she transformed into a robot once more, jumped off the cliff face, and made a perfect landing back on solid ground. Because she's a robot. As Megatron was knocked off balance, Optimus saw his opportunity and blasted Megatron point blank. Megatron... Why didn't you do this before? I mean, really? You're fighting this, just punching and punching and punching. Why didn't you transform hand into a blaster, blast you in the face? I mean, really? Why can't you do this? It's common sense. Well, I mean, there's possibly a reason, but I want to know what it is. Megatron was too tough to be injured, but it did stun him long enough for Optimus to kick off Megatron and get back on his feet. However, before they could continue their fight, they were distracted by a flash of white light, where Arcee was on the cliff moments ago. However, by the time their gaze met where the statue should be, there was nothing there but a pile of rocks. Immediately, several bursts of lightning erupted from the sky, and after another big flash of white light, they were all surprised to see a bizarre-looking creature hovering right above them. He was small, but he was most definitely an unusual creature. With a lion's paw, eagle's claw, snake's tail, and other assorted body parts, nobody there could truly comprehend what this creature was. I mean, no one's ever heard of a chimera before, which is actually what a Draconicus is. It's just a very specific Draconicus. Same thing with a Manticore. It's actually a chimera, but it's a very specific type of chimera. Manticore is a scorpion, a lion, a bat, and a bat. And a griffin is a chimera, which is a cross between an eagle and a lion. And occasionally a dragon for some reason, which is just weird. It's a chimera, which I can't remember what it means, but it means something to the effect of the jumbled parts. I'll have to look it up. Nobody there could comprehend why this strange creature also started to let out a strange cackle of a laugh. And nobody there could comprehend what would happen next. Well, as interesting as this story is, not really. Or not. Oh, I totally blew it, didn't I? I totally blew it. Anyways, play it off. We're coming up on our hour here, and I personally would like to be done with this story, give it my thumbs down, and be done with it. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for your puns and all of your comments. And please subscribe, because if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. There's a button somewhere on this screen. Please subscribe. Tell your friends.